The aquatic biome accounts for around 75% of the entire world. Inside it, there are animals and plants, each either a producer or consumer. Being so large, it has many different categories inside it, such as the next largest ones, the ocean, estuaries, and freshwater regions. These have other types of water kinds under them also. First, let's talk about the freshwater part of the aquatic biome.
There are many different types of freshwater regions all around the world. There are ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, and wetlands. Freshwater regions have a salt concentration of about 1% and are in two main categories, still and moving. We get our drinkable water from this region. Lakes are large, natural bodies of water formed by glaciers, volcanic activity, or displacement of the crust. They can have 3 layers or zones based on distance from the shoreline and depth, similar to the ocean. Ponds are small bodies of water and can be formed naturally or by embanking or hollowing. Wetlands are areas awash with water. This can be seasonally or permanently. Rivers are large, fast-moving currents. Rivers can carry important nutrients and gases downstream. Streams are bodies of water with a current surrounded by a bed or stream banks. A stream can also be called a creek, brook, branch, or beck. Today we are talking with Miss Lillian Eva Bryan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, you're a limnologist. What is that exactly?
It is the study of freshwater regions, mostly lakes though.
That's pretty cool. What kind of animals live in the freshwater regions?
Many animals live in this region, but to summarize, fish like trout, salmon, bass, amphibians, frogs, toads, salamanders, otters, beavers, reptiles, ducks, geese, swans, turtles, ticks, dragonflies, and leeches.
Never been a fan of leeches, but they have their purpose. What kind of plants grow there?
Well, cattails, lily pads, muskgrass, water celery, black spruce trees, leaf pondweed, and duckweed are a few off the top of my head.
Okay, very neat. How is energy transformed, transferred, and conserved in the freshwater regions?
A consumer, such as a fish, eats a producer and the energy is transferred to the fish. When a bigger consumer comes and eats the fish that ate the producer, a transformation of energy is taking place. When the consumer dies, its body decomposes and its energy gets transferred back to the producer in however it decomposes, and the cycle begins again. Creatures only take what they need to survive, so the rest stays and grows. All goes according to the law of conservation of energy, which just states that the energy is never lost or gained, just transformed and transferred.
Very, very cool. How is matter transformed from organism to organism?
A few ways are animal eating plant, such as a fish eating algae.
Okay. So, how is matter transformed from environment to organism?
The environment producing food for the organism, like a rocky stream giving food and shelter for a fish.
Okay. What are the temperature and precipitation ranges for the freshwater region?
Well, temperatures vary vastly because of different conditions and situations. For freshwater, winter temperatures have an average of 35 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, average temperatures are 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And the precipitation also varies vastly.
This is all very interesting, but I'm sorry, but we have to end our interview. Thank you for coming, and it is greatly appreciated.
It was my pleasure. Estuaries are special places where salt and freshwater meet, often in closed bodies of water near coasts. To sum it up, an estuary is a place for transitions, including fresh to salt water and land to sea. A cool fact is that estuaries produce more organic matter than other places of relatable sizes. This unique area harbors many types of habitats, including tidal pools, rocky shores, seagrasses, and much more. Nicknamed nurseries of the sea, estuaries help many animals at some point in their lives. For example, migrating birds can rest up here on account of the variety of foods and other habitats. And fish can use the space for breeding, among other things. Some producers, like types of grasses, live here, while consumers, like fishes, can too. Yet, the biotic features of these places are very diverse. The estuary leads into the ocean, or, in other words, the marine part of the aquatic biome.
The ocean covers about 70% of our world and holds many types of animals, some undiscovered because the ocean is one of the most unexplored parts of our Earth. Many scientists are trying to unlock its secrets. The ocean needs to be protected from oil spills, pollution, and overfishing. These are problems that need to be stopped. The ocean has a delicate food chain composing of producers, consumers, and decomposers. Many of the animals are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals. The ocean helps moderate the world's temperature by distributing heat around the globe. The ocean is very biodiverse and holds the most living organisms in any given region. The ocean is an enormous part of the water cycle. It is a reservoir for the water cycle. The ocean is split into different zones. They can be vertical and horizontal. They split the zones vertically based on depth and light. The sunlight reaches about 200 meters. This creates the photic zone. The photic zone is called the light zone, and photosynthesis takes place in this zone. Most animals live in this zone and or visit this zone. The aphotic zone does not get enough light to produce photosynthesis. It makes up a majority of the ocean but does not hold much of its life. This zone is also subdivided by depth. The ocean is divided by horizontal lines based on the distance from the shore. The intertidal zone, or littoral zone, is the closest to the shore and is between high and low tide. The Neoretic zone starts at the low tide mark and gradually slopes seaward to the continental shelf. And in the Neoretic zone, some sunlight is able to penetrate to the seabed. The Oceanic zone is the complete rest of the ocean and is subdivided even more.
I'm here with marine biologist Hannah Lawson to answer a few questions. Hello, Miss Lawson.
Hello.
When looking at the aquatic biome, what cellular structures are responsible for photosynthesis?
Well, in all plants, the organelle does that.
Cool. And what abiotic features does the aquatic biome have?
Overall, the abiotic non-living features of the biome include lots of water, light, fog, dust, density differences that cause stratification, which is layering, thermal energy, rocks, and anything else on the ocean floor.
Also, how do disruptions to the abiotic and biotic features impact the overall composition of the biome?
It depends, really. The abiotic features, as I mentioned earlier, could be disrupted, meaning they could move to spaces they weren't supposed to be, and infect that space negatively. And for the living things, the biotic features say an animal dies on the ocean floor, that changes what's there. There is also pollution that, as you could guess, that changes the composition.
What are the temperature and precipitation ranges for the aquatic biome?
Temperatures vary vastly because of different conditions and situations. For estuaries, the shallow temperatures can create ranges of even freezing to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. For oceans, the wide space and climate covered makes a range of almost freezing is 28.4 degrees Fahrenheit, to near 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And for precipitation, it all varies, so much depending on the climate and habitat and the water is in. But 115 inches usually falls on the ocean annually.
Wow, that's really cool. Next question. What seasonal changes, if any, does the aquatic biome undergo?
Being 75% of the world, water stretches into many different climates and has many different seasonal patterns. Overall, the water gets colder or warmer depending on the temperature.
And lastly, what special attributes do plants and animals have that allow them to thrive in the aquatic biome?
Animals need specific things to survive in water. For example, gills, though some mammals are aquatic too. Plants would have to adapt to having a lot of water around also. For example, lily pads have flexible stems for underwater currents. Also, otters have whiskers for finding food, geese have webbed feet for swimming, and whales have blubber for heat.
Thank you so much, Miss Lawson.
It was all my pleasure. The aquatic biome is the biggest biome in the world. Without it, life today would be completely different. Our planet would be a dried, hard rock with no life. The freshwater regions give us water, and the ocean is a mystery waiting to be explored. The aquatic biome holds the largest diversity of creatures than any other biome. When you look at the Earth from space, it is almost completely blue. Though we were unable to fit everything on the aquatic biome in our video, we tried to cover as much as we could. And we would encourage you to learn more on this big, interesting biome.